Okay, we're covering some playthrough for the micro horror RPG solo pen and paper role playing game designed by Noah Patterson. Very good game, very good game. So we're going to do a little bit of a playthrough or play through a part of it up until the point where we may have to do some combat. Let's turn our, oh god darn, let's turn our vampire character because these people are hunting vampires. This is, oh, we're not good at this. This is Carl and Edwina, and they are hunting the vampire that Edwina has seen in her childhood in Mexico before she came and immigrated to the United States, and that vampire has followed her. She's crossed tracks with it again. So she has turned it once, going down into the underground caverns beneath the ancient homestead, and but she has had to retreat and come back with Carl, her confederate here. Carl is actually not a fantasy ranger, but a modern occultist vampire hunter. So what we did and how you start out, and because this is a game mostly for dungeon crawling, you start out with a d20 roll, and here we had 17, so there are 17 squares in the first room that Carl and Edwina explore. Then we roll a d4 for the number of doors, and that includes the door that they came in. So 2, that's the door, the entrance, and then the exit. And I rolled a d8, and it gave me that the exit was to the north. Now, you can journal this story as it's going. What have we got here? Have we got the right? No, that is not actually the correct that we wanted. You roll a d12. You roll a d12 to determine if there are any monsters in the room. And if you have 6 or higher, you have monsters. And we have a 7, so there are monsters in the room. So we're in a cellar type room underground, and there are monster tables to determine the trap chart, reward chart, dungeon room chart, monsters. Now these are not the boss monsters, these are the undead, I'm going to assume. And we'll just go ahead and roll. There are vermin, verminous monsters, monster type chart, vermin, spectral, undead, or boss. Let's go ahead and roll and see what type of monster we have. There's 2 vermin. Of course, you could just vermin. We can go ahead and roll again and see. We get a 4. Blood, moon, rotting wolf. And there are a maximum of 5. So we roll, and there are 2 blood, moon, rotting wolves in the room. And there are 2 monster hunters. So we're up to the point where we're getting up to the point of battle with these creatures. So there are 2 blood, moon, rotting wolves. There's a maximum of 5, and there are 2 of them. And they have a difficulty modifier. There's no difficulty modifier here. Either +1 or +2. They both have a life force of 4. and they inflict 1d4 of damage and 1d6 of damage. There are 4 of these creatures. So let's give a little representation here in this room. And they say the room is a wet tile floor, or we rolled up that the room was a wet tile floor type room. So there is a -1 on all rolls. So let's go ahead and we're going to do something that is not specified in the book. We're going to go ahead and roll for initiative and sort of bend the rules a little bit. And that's the wolf, the second wolf, 4, Edwina, 5, and Carl, 2. So let's go ahead and say that our 2 adventurers, our 2 monster hunters, have the initiative here. Edwina goes first. We make a charm check, charisma check, 2, plus or minus the wits damage of the first wolf. And that is a 1. So she needs to roll. Beneath a 2, beneath a 1. She can't, there's no way. No possible way. So that is going to be an automatic miss. She cannot hit the wolf. This is something that they didn't apparently account for when they created, or when this was written, the fact that there are some rolls that can't possibly be made. Okay, so she fails that check. She has the option of turning around and running. What we can do is see, since the probability or the chaos factor here is so high, and you're going to have to use different tools with this game. Let's say the probability or chaos factor on the Mythic Game Master emulator chart is in fact, say a 9, because the wolves just appeared from nowhere. And then if she is failed a bravery check, she loses a will point, and it's very likely that she's going to run here. But we'll go ahead, and if we can roll between, it looks to be 21 and 105. If we can roll somewhere in there on a D100, then it's almost a certainty that she's going to turn tail. Now, you'll have to also roll for Carl, because as her companion, he might leave too. But it's going to be, can they leave before, and can they get the door shut on the wolves before they attack? And let's go ahead and see. We need the 1d10. That's 12, d8, d20. Where is the d10? Right there is the d10. So let's go ahead, and then what we're trying to roll on the GM emulator, very likely somewhere between 21 and 105. And we got a 71. So yes, absolutely. She turned tail and she left. She ran out the door. And is Carl going to be fast enough to join her in time? Let's check against his dexterity for that. It's 3 minus 1 for the roll because of the wet floors. 3 minus 1 is 2. So, excuse me, plus 1 is 4. So he does not follow her. He, for some reason, decides he for some reason isn't quick enough, but she goes through the door. Now, does she slam the door? What happens here? Eventually, those blood wound wolves are going to attack. They're slavering. Their jaws are dripping wet. So let's go ahead and let's have Carl roll his charisma minus the 1d4. Oh my, where is my little pyramid? There we go. So the first wolf, 1d4, and that's 4. So we go ahead and roll for Carl. Carl rolls a 4, but it's minus 4. So really he's rolled a 0. So he's failed a bravery check and taken a wit point. He's going to have to flee from there. Can he do that in time again? Because the other wolf is going to attack too. It's definitely some mechanics issues with this game because there are rolls that are impossible. Not the way I would have handled it myself, but this is very exciting stuff. I mean, I love the horror genre, the role-playing game aspect, and the horror aspect of the role-playing game is just excellent. And the book itself is very good looking. As you can see, it's a wonderful book. There are some holes in the system that you can plug up using other systems, such as Mythic and the Fate chart. And that's what we're trying to do. So let's go ahead and assign. This is about as chaotic the Mythic chart as can possibly be. It's a number 9 on the Fate chart, and I believe it is a near sure thing that wolf, one of those wolves, is going to attack now. So let's go ahead and roll our 1d100, and we've rolled 23. Near sure thing. Darn. That's between. Excuse me. Near sure thing. So that is between 23 and 115. So, yeah, those wolves are going to attack now. I wish we had some wolf figurines to really impress upon you, but unfortunately that's not the case here. But they're going to attack. So in that situation, let's go ahead and ask. Let's see if there's a 50-50 probability of Carl making it back through that door and following Edwina and then getting that shut. Let's say it's unlikely. I hate to be that. Yeah, let's say it's unlikely. So that is that's a number between 18 and 90. So if we can get in the range of 18 or 90 on a D100, 35. So yes, he was able to get through. Carl was able to get through the door with Edwina. They go through the door. They slam the door shut on the wolves, and the wolves are scratching, and they can hear them beyond the door. And I believe that's as far as we're going to go. And otherwise, if we weren't making a video here, we would be doing our little journal and writing it as a story as we'd make the dice rolls. Choosing the dice rolls carefully. When we use the fate chart, when we roll against the attributes, trying to play the game as fair with ourselves as we can, and keep it a game, but keep it a role-playing game, but make it also a narrative, make it also a story, make it something that you can remember, that's memorable. But this again is the micro horror RPG created by Noah Patterson. Very good stuff. But there are some holes in the system, as you've seen. There are some rolls that can't be made What do? You can always go ahead and consult the fate chart. But one of the secrets of solo role playing is you are the dungeon master and you are the player at the same time. So the decision is all up to you. It's what feels right to you, it's what's in your head as you journal, as you write the story, the narrative, and fill in the blanks with your imagination. Okay, thank you. Have a good morning.